Hi there, I'm Gideon Rose, the editor of Foreign Affairs, and welcome to a new Foreign Affairs Focus with Moncef Marzouki, the president of Tunisia. A little over a year and 3/4 ago, Tunisia started the Arab Spring rolling. And in the time since, it has been perhaps the most shining success story in the region, making a transition to democracy and stability and providing a model for the rest of the region and the world at large. As the president of Tunisia, what do you think has been responsible for the success of the democratic experiment in Tunisia?
Well, in fact, I would like to say that Tunisia was ready to be a democratic state many years ago, but we have this accident, we have this horrible dictatorship, this corrupted and brutal dictatorship for many years. But in fact, it could have been the first Arab country to be a democratic state the beginning of the 80s. Why? Because you probably know that the society is homogeneous. It's a middle-class society, well-educated society, and we are very close to France, to the West. The society is very much westernized. So we could have been the first Arab democratic states, as I told you, the 80s. Now we have all this. We weren't lucky because when Ben Ali came to power, at the time you have here in the United States the problem of fighting against terrorists. And the West, the main problem of the West was at that time terrorists. So Ben Ali and people like Ben Ali were very useful to the West. I wouldn't say that the West is responsible for our backwardness, but I would say that yes, Ben Ali and the Arab dictators were unfortunately backed by the West at that time for many reasons. But now this old political system is dead, definitely dead. And I can assure you that Tunisia, not only Tunisia, but all the whole Arab world will become countries of democracy, of human rights, values, and so forth. I'm talking about that because I know that you American, you are fearing the Salafist movement, and you probably think that, in fact, this Arab Spring can turn out to be a Salafist winter. And I can assure you that this would not happen.
The inclusion of Islamist groups and Islamist individuals and parties into the political process on a moderate way, in a nonviolent way, is this something that we are likely to see continuing in Tunisia and North Africa and the region more generally?
Yes, yes, of course. And I can assure you that the most important victory of democracy now in the world is the fact that the central part of the spectrum of the Islamist movement is now linked to democracy, and those kind of Islamists have accepted the democratic values and so forth. So yes, it's a victory for democracy. I mean that we secularists in Tunisia, we didn't turn out to be Islamists, but the Islamists turned out to be Democrats. This is why I always say that the best victory of democracy is now having in the Arab world, because you know the Islamists, the position of the Islamists to say, if we have to get rid of dictatorship, is to have another kind of dictatorship, an Islamist dictatorship. While our position is to say, no, we are fed up with all kind of dictatorship, also with Islamist dictatorship, and then we are turning to democracy. So I can guess that really in the next few decades we will have all this country gained by democracy and not by Islamists, not by Salafism. Once again, I can assure you that Salafism is a phenomenon that we can overcome. It's just like your white supremacist forces. They don't represent anything.
Hopefully. What help can the United States or the West or the world more generally provide? What is it that the rest of the world can do to help this new experiment flourish and prosper?
You know, the main challenges we are facing now are not ideological, as probably some people think. The main challenges are social and economics. The main reason which triggered this revolution is poverty. So if we want to keep democracy on track, we have to tackle those social and economic issues. We have to fight against poverty, and here the West can of course, the United States and Europe can help us, because if we can solve the problem of poverty, then we can solve the problem of Salafism. Now, the Salafism is rooted in poverty. So we cannot discuss with this with the terrorist movement. We cannot have they don't want to play the game, the political game. They don't want to be part of democracy. They want to destroy democracy because they think they have nothing to gain. But once again, it's social phenomena more than a political or ideological phenomena. So if we tackle poverty, then we can tackle the problem of Salafism.
When things go well, no one seems to notice or care, and the minute there's a riot or a conflagration, it seems to make headlines. Does it bother you that the only way you can seem to get the West's attention is when there's some kind of problem?
Yeah, well, I'm very sorry, because, you know, this tiny minority is very harmful for the image of the Tunisia, because I always say that good news are not news, but bad news are news. The newspaper would never talk about planes arriving at time. They would talk about planes crashing, so they wouldn't talk about how democracy is now in good shape in Tunisia, how we are talking about reaching consensus about constitution and so forth. They would talk only about what happened, unfortunately, with the riots and the attacks against American embassies. But this is, as I always say, you know, it's probably we don't have more than 3,000 people who can describe them as Salafist. The population of Tunisia is 10 million. So you see. But what I want to say is we are on the track. It's not an easy matter, because, as I told you, the main challenge we are facing are social and economic. People have had this revolution not for having a Sharia state or a religious state, but for jobs, for freedom of expression and so forth. So if we want to stay on the track, we have to give jobs to the youngs, education and so forth. And this is the only way to tackle the problem of Salafism, and this is the only way to consolidate our democracy.
Tourism is an important part of the Tunisian economy. What should Americans who are considering tourism in Tunisia, what will they find when they go there?
Everything, the hospitality, friendship, and fine cuisine, everything. I think I would like to see more American and more Canadians in Tunisia.
With that, we'll finish. Thank you very much, President Moncef Marzouki, President of Tunisia. Thanks, and we'll see you on another episode of Foreign Affairs Focus.